Welcome to Mueller Time. This is episode 21. What's going on, man?
Hey, how you doing?
Rest in peace, Nikolai Volkov.
Oh, yeah. Nikolai Volkov, WWF superstar.
One of your heroes.
Yeah. Oh, he was such a great bad guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not,
And, he came out saying the Russian national anthem every single week on WWF television. And I didn't know if that really was it or not until I saw Rocky IV.
yeah. Yeah, that was big. I'm not a big wrestling fan, but you've talked to me a little bit about, know.
Look, every time you play the Russian national anthem here on Mueller Time, that's all I can think is Nikolai Volkov.
I might even play it again. Who knows?
Right.
I could play it right now, but then it's hard for me to both reach over and play it and then also talking to the mic at the same time. Maybe at some point we'll hire somebody to do that.
Hire engineers, that'll be good.
Of course, if Nikolai Volkov was alive today, or starting his career today, he would actually be the hero, right? I mean, because that's what we do now. Here.
Well, the WWE did have this. Well, he is Rusev. He's totally popular.
What I'm saying is that Trump supporters who are, I would say a large part of the WWF fan base, and Vince McMahon, who owns all that shit, is a Trump supporter.
And his wife is a member of the cabinet.
Right. Now we love Russia. So Nikolai Volkov would be the hero. And I guess the villain now in WWF would be a Robert Mueller lookalike.
Oh, well, that would be McMahon.
Yeah. They would just throw a Robert Mueller cutout all over the ring. Right?
Well, hey, Trump is a real WWE Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
right.
literally in the WWE Hall of Fame.
Yeah, if only it had stopped there, we all would have been better off.
Yeah.
Yeah, Trump had a little bit of this is like evergreen, but had a little meltdown yesterday.
Oh, well, all over Twitter.
Yeah, I would say the large reason is Paul Manafort's trial starts tomorrow.
All right. Well, look, I something big's coming down in the next couple of days. Giuliani was all over Fox and CNN spilling beans about meetings no one knew about yet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sick of that guy. I know that, again, that's the understatement of the year. I'm so tired of turning on the TV and seeing that guy.
Okay, so he's Trump's lawyer, but he's more spokesperson PR. Now, when Trump eventually goes to trial somewhere, is Giuliani going to be representing him in court?
I think Giuliani should be more worried about the fact that he's part of this conspiracy.
Yeah.
It's like, let's not erase time. He was part of the campaign.
Mm-hmm.
He was basically part of the transition team. I was reading about that. He was actually supposed to be the cyber guy.
Okay.
Yeah. Let me watch Giuliani turn on a computer. Yeah. So he. Yeah.
He's basically just a spokesperson. Is he crafting any legal plans?
No. I mean, that was crazy what he said today about according to Giuliani, there was a pre-meeting.
The strategy meeting.
Right. Which, again, that's something more that a prosecutor would say, not the guy who's supposed to be helping
Well,
you.
the best thing is the strategy meeting that they were talking about didn't happen, and Trump did not go to the meeting. That didn't happen, according to Giuliani.
Right.
That meeting didn't happen. But it did happen, and Trump didn't go to that meeting that didn't happen.
Yeah, I wonder how many people, specifically probably people of color, are rotting, who Giuliani put away, are rotting in prison somewhere. Mm-hmm. Probably a bunch who didn't even do it. These guys, I mean, talking about the definition of white privilege, they're literally the half, I was about to say survey says, when they do these polls, roughly 50, 60% of the country is just like, they're guilty. I mean, that's why they call it stupid Watergate.
Yeah.
Giuliani gets out there today or yesterday or whenever he was doing it and says, yeah, there was actually a pre-meeting that everyone showed up for the thing that didn't matter. That's why everybody was there. Because
collusion's not a crime. That's the other thing he's saying today.
Right. The new thing is now collusion's not a crime. You don't actually get to define what you did as, you don't get to put a word on it. That's the job of the law.
Yeah, it's a crime, and there's no collusion. There is no collusion crime. Because collusion is not a crime. So that collusion that they did do is not a crime.
So who's going to tell them that conspiracy is a crime? Which is, by the way, actually, believe it or not, collusion, I looked into this. Collusion is a crime, but it's a very specific thing that maybe doesn't involve them. It's something else with financial stuff. I'm sure they did that too.
It's all semantics.
Right. So, yeah, it's getting hard to...
Election fraud's a crime.
Election fraud's a crime. Yeah, so Manafort goes on trial tomorrow, first of two trials, because he's an overachiever. And tomorrow will be the bank fraud, Sorry, I'd lose track of all the charges.
Yeah, it's impossible to keep track of it. Yeah, this trial apparently is not going to talk about the collusion at all. There's nothing to do with Russia with Manafort's current trial. That's not this one.
Right, yeah. This is just so hopefully Manafort can come to his senses and flip, as they say.
Yeah, this is where he's supposed to just say, all right, I don't want to do this trial. What do you want to know about Trump?
Well, yeah, that would be awesome tomorrow if we wake up and it's like Manafort pleads guilty.
The way that Trump was flipping out all weekend on Twitter and the way Giuliani is just spouting anything that's coming out of his mouth. Someone's getting indicted this week. Something big's going down before Friday.
Yeah, Tim O'Brien, who's one of the experts on Trump, really one of the, I would put him up there with David K. Johnston as really the guy who knows him best. He's been sued by Trump. He's the only person that I'm aware of who's actually seen Trump's tax returns from at least a couple years from when Trump sued him. And he's not allowed to talk about it, because of their deal. But anyway, Tim O'Brien is not a vindictive guy. He's not the type of guy to just make the types of remarks that we make about Trump. He said that he's like, you can't say enough that part of the problem here is that this is a group of people who, again, this is Tim O'Brien talking, who just aren't very smart. They're just not, and they never were. You've seen the Trump family. And even Giuliani, the collective IQ there is low. And we think there's this big thing going on, people to talk about a conspiracy. It also could just be people who are just not very smart getting out there. Yeah. Speaking of which, after our last show, the Michael Cohen tape actually dropped.
Oh yeah, that was before we recorded, or we recorded before. Yes.
Yeah. So I got a clip of that. I just want to play.
Highlights? Let's
yeah. Here we go. Oh shoot! I'm sorry. That was the Godfather theme song. My bad. All right. No, here's the clip for real.
You know what it means for Arthur? One of these old mutts gets wet in here. Yeah, doing his business.
Oh shoot! I'm sorry, dude. That was The Sopranos. That was The Sopranos. I'm not playing that fucking stupid ass fucking clip. No, hell no.
Well, what about maybe he gets hit by a truck part? I could have just played that soundbite.
That was the closest thing to a bit I'll ever do.
Can you? I don't. It kind of blows my mind. And all the blowback from this Michael Cohen tape, no one made anything out of Trump saying maybe he'll get hit by a truck. That whole entire thing got broken down. The whole entire recording they broke it down word by word. Nobody went off on the maybe he gets hit by a truck part.
Right.
What did Trump mean by that? And who was the person that might get hit by a truck?
Right. At first I was like, oh, it's an offhanded remark, like if something happens to our, prized accountant or whatever, which actually I'm going to talk about in a sec. But then, yeah, being Trump, I've often wondered if he's ever ordered a murder or something.
Oh, of course he has.
You think so?
Oh, of course he has, yes.
I mean, he's a mobster. I mean, it wouldn't surprise us.
And there might be more to come.
Yeah. Speaking of which, accountants, so also one Alan Weisselberg, who is their longtime accountant, has been subpoenaed.
Yeah, the bean counter's getting subpoenaed.
Right. All experts on the Trump.
That guy's seen the tax returns.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He was his father's accountant. I was like, how old is this guy?
Yeah.
And he's only like 70. I was like, wait, did he start when he was like 15 years old?
Well, maybe Trump's daddy had a really old accountant and, he died and then this dude took over. I don't know.
Imagine how shady this dude is. Mm-hmm. If you were Fred Trump's accountant and then you were like, yeah, this is a good gig. Let me go with Donald. Mm-hmm. I mean, this guy knows everything.
He did, like I said, he's seen those tax returns. He knows what's in them.
This guy's 70-some years old, too. I know he doesn't want to go to jail. He's not going to be that dumb.
No.
Yeah.
Well, maybe because of his age, he's not going to be afraid to talk.
No.
Yeah. He's going to die anyway.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Now I'm getting dark here. Sorry.
Oh, who cares? These people are assholes. I mean, seriously, like you can't. Mm-hmm. It's like it's funny how they want to play by. We're supposed to play by two sets of rules. They get to do whatever they want and lock babies in jails and praise white supremacists. But then when we bring it back on them, all of a sudden it's like, oh no, civility.
Yeah, civility.
Right.
Those snowflakes.
Yeah. Hey, let me ask you this: do you remember Al Franken?
Oh yeah.
Why did Al Franken resign?
Yeah. Why?
It's like a fog.
Yeah.
And then Kirsten Gillibrand said it had to happen. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Has Kirsten Gillibrand, did I say her name right?
I think, yeah.
Has she
Yeah,
said anything about Jim Jordan?
No, I don't think so.
Right. Jim Jordan, who covered up the molestation of 200 young men.
No. Yeah.
She's on our side. She's supposed to.
Well, look, that was the whole point. Like that gets back to Michelle Obama's when they go low, we go high.
Mhm.
So yes, they martyred Al Franken last fall.
Right.
But yeah, it's kind of forgotten, especially now when the Jim Jordan case has come up.
Right.
I mean, if they were going to sacrifice Al Franken like that, use that sacrifice in this situation.
Right.
Make sure the rest of the world knows that the rest of the Republicans are tolerating that.
Right. Here's how they play the game.
The Jim Jordan story's gone from the news cycle already.
Right. We play the game go low, go high, and Al Franken is now in the private sector. They play the game where Jim Jordan is running for fucking speaker.
Yeah.
I mean, when will the Democrats ever get it?
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't know.
Well, look, Trump gets away with it, so why doesn't matter? Jim Jordan doesn't matter.
Oh man, Trump really was losing his mind yesterday. I mean, that shit was hilarious.
Look, every morning I wake up thinking, okay, what did I miss while I was asleep? And it's going to happen. I'm going to wake up one morning this week and Jared's going to be indicted or something.
Right. Trump is the only person, as we've discussed, who has any kind of protection because of the presidency. Everyone under him, like I keep saying, they're going down. They're fucked. They have no protection. Nobody cares about them. It amazes me most of all, Trump's base, they don't give a shit about those people. Maybe a little bit about like Ivanka or something. That's it.
Because she's next.
Right. But they don't care. You think they care about Jared Kushner?
Okay, so Ivanka, she's kind of stayed off of Mueller's radar, at least as far as we know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But now last week she just quietly stepped away from her brand. She shuts her brand down, the Ivanka brand. What's that about?
Right. I'll tell you what that's about. Mueller is coming for them.
Mm-hmm.
That it's a shady ass business. It makes no sense because that was her thing.
Mm-hmm.
That was her only thing. She was a fashion designer, in quotation marks. So all of a sudden you shut your business down?
Yeah.
Nah. Something happened there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ivanka's going to jail.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. They're going to take everything. They're going to put it up in an auction, and they'll give the money back to whoever they can, whatever's left.
Is Ivanka? That's obviously an Eastern European name. Well, I mean, why? She's mid-30s. How old is she?
Yeah, she's like 35.
So why, in the early 80s, would Trump give a very Russian-sounding name to his child?
That's a great. I don't know. I mean,
In the early 80s.
That's true.
What year was she born? 83, 84, 85?
Sounds
somewhere
about
in
right.
there? Okay.
Yeah. No, I mean, he's like when you step back, you don't even have to step back and look at it. This ain't True Detective, folks.
Mm-hmm.
This is stupid Watergate. I mean, you don't need to be at 2 a.m. and, crossing off things on a detective style billboard. You can just turn on MSNBC and see what's going on. Yeah, it's pretty wild, isn't it?
Yeah, I can't wait for this. By this Friday, something bad's going to happen to the Trump organization.
So apparently now their new strategy is that Robert Mueller he's coming after them for the reason that he left Trump's golf club.
But Giuliani won't actually say that. No, that was Trump's tweet today. Like, there's a conflict of interest, but I won't tell you what it is. And then Giuliani on CNN, there's a conflict of interest there, but I'm not going to say what it is.
Right.
It's golf fees. He didn't like the golf fees. He quit. He pulled out of the golf, the Trump golf club.
Right.
That's crazy.
That's exactly what all this is about. That's exactly why Robert Mueller is working 18 hours a day.
Yeah, no, just when Giuliani pretend like, he even said on CNN, I don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
Yes, you do.
The best part was this, again, so many great things get washed over, but Trump said it was because he didn't appoint Robert Mueller to head the FBI when everyone remembers that James Comey was the head of the FBI when he came in. So there was nobody to appoint.
Yeah.
And Robert Mueller was already head of the FBI. That was kind of a weird thing to say, but it's hard to tell with Trump if he even knows.
Well, it doesn't matter, though, because the people that he needs to believe him will believe anything he says. So it doesn't matter if he gets it right or wrong.
Right.
And then the enemy of the people can call him out. I mean, I'm sorry, the press can call him out and correct the record, and it still doesn't matter because the people that believe his nonsense aren't going to believe the enemy. They're enemies. They're enemies on MSNBC and CNN.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is a really fascinating thing that I read from the Atlantic. Natasha Bertrand. I don't know if you saw this one. ICE and Homeland Security has suddenly begun enforcing Interpol red notices issued by Russia in this country.
I just learned what red notices are last week.
Right. Right. A red notice is just it's basically an international arrest warrant. Now you're not required to do it, but basically you're going to get arrested or detained if there's a red notice on you.
Okay, now to be clear, the red notice is from Interpol.
Correct.
It's not specifically from Russia.
Russia, right. A country requests it. So Russia will request that Interpol issue this said warrant.
Yes, but ICE now, the red notices they are enforcing are from Russia.
Correct. So according to this article, at least 2 to 3 people in this country have been detained, and 2 are basically scheduled for deportation. And these are not some murder criminals we don't want out of here. They're basically, these individuals were enemies of the state in Russia, and they fled here as refugees. And then Russia issues this thing, and all of a sudden, this didn't happen under Obama. Now all of a sudden,
this didn't happen under any time in American history.
But it sounds like, according to this article, that it's not just the normal deportation under Trump. They're really giving the Russians a big, no problem. Yeah, absolutely, sir.
Well,
We'd be glad to ship these people back to you to get murdered.
Yeah.
How fascinating is that?
That's so frightening.
It's what we keep talking about, the slow-moving coup.
Mm-hmm.
Where did that come from? I mean, what a fascinating coincidence.
So, can we have red notices on the 12 people Mueller indicted, the 12 Russians Mueller indicted?
I'm sure they've already been issued. But
can they be enforced, please?
Yeah. Let's see if Putin will enforce those.
Well, look, if they're going to take people out of America on red notices, there's going to be some reciprocation.
If we had a real president, yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, I'm not saying that to say these red notices being enforced in the United States are okay, but don't get me wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
No, but I hear what you're saying. Yes. The Russians who hacked our election, that's the definition of people who should be issued a red notice and, extradited here.
God, just the name red notice, that's frightening.
Yeah. And Russia...
That's going to be a movie in the next couple of years.
It already was the title of at least one movie.
There was a movie? Okay.
Yeah, but there'll be titles are not... you can't copyright a title. Nope. So there can be as many movies called red notices.
You ever heard the Replacements album, Let It Be?
Yeah. Oh, I just realized that, yeah.
Okay.
They just didn't care. They were like, whatever. Well, I guess that's punk rock.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. Mm. It's a good album.
Fantastic album. It's got Unsatisfied. Tommy Gets His Tonsils Out.
Back in the USSR.
No, that was not.
Yeah,
should be.
Yeah. That song's definitely making a comeback. Like if I didn't have to worry about like copyright issues, that might have been the theme song to this show.
Yeah, you got to pay Michael Jackson's estate. Oh, no, I don't think Michael Jackson's estate's getting that money anymore.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, his life was a financial mess before. Okay, we're way off track.
Russia abuses these red notices. They this Bill Browder, who created the Magnitsky Act, they issue these fucking things on him everywhere. He's been arrested 5 times, and now they're not even. By the way, so Interpol finally said no to Bill Browder specifically. So now Russia's not allowed to issue a red notice. So they do this other thing that through Interpol. It's the same thing. He gets detained wherever he goes.
Okay.
They want to kill this guy.
Yeah.
They would kill him in a heartbeat.
Well, he's the author of the Magnitsky Act, which is what this whole entire thing is about.
Right.
It's all the entire hacking and Trump being given the presidency. It's all to get rid of the Magnitsky Act.
Right.
Sanctions.
So today, well, it was yesterday really, but it sounds better if I say today, is 100 days till the midterms.
Wow.
So whatever you guys are doing out there, just pick one thing a day, but just, do it.
Here's what you should do. If you're listening to Mueller Time, first of all, we thank you, but I don't think we need to encourage you to register to vote. If you're listening to this show, we know you're registered to vote, and you don't even miss your weird special elections that happen on a Wednesday in the middle of an odd number year. So instead of us telling you to go vote, how about just between now and Election Day, get 5 people to register that aren't registered. There's your challenge, 5 people.
Right. It's like Scientology or Amway. You need to recruit 5 people. And if you, yeah, I was thinking about that earlier. Yeah. And if you want to do something for us, by the way, since you guys really came through when I was telling you about how Trump supporters are fucking up our reviews, and there's been a ton of 5-star reviews since then. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, everybody. Yes.
If you could please keep leaving those reviews for us, and maybe also, like, seriously, what you just said, if you could tell 1 or 2 people about this podcast or share it, we'd really appreciate this. We're, like I said, we don't do this for money. I don't really think there's any money in podcasting except for like 2 or 3 people.
Oh, I'm sure there's money, but not the way we do it.
Well, I mean, Joe Rogan, people like that. But, well, I'm not going to go into, I know a lot about how the
I just read
stuff.
today what Ben Shapiro's speaking fee is. That's kind of off track.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. How much do you think Ben Shapiro gets paid whenever he goes to one of these college campuses to go spout his nonsense?
I mean,
okay, no, if you are the head of your campus's conservatives on campus and you want to bring Ben Shapiro in, how much does that cost?
I'm going to guess someone who had a little knowledge of this in college. He gets a 6-figure salary. What do you think, $100K?
No. So I'm talking about one speaker. Okay, wow, you just blew my story. No,
What?
he's getting paid $10,000. Now, a couple
10,000?
years ago, it was $5,000 to bring Ben Shapiro in to speak at your school, and I saw a thing today. Now he's up to $10,000.
Oh, I thought he got more than that.
No, okay, no.
Wow. That's like less than a fucking acoustic guitar player. Like,
Oh no, it's
solo.
not.
what?
No,
$5,000? That's like nothing.
$5,000. Yeah, that's good money.
I
Or
mean, it's
$10,000. Yeah.
It's a lot of money, but I'm just, for a guy who's like on TV all the time.
Well,
All right, enough about this
okay,
asshole.
Yeah.
Yeah, but best of luck. What will our fee be? That's the question.
There
All
you
right.
go.
So, but yeah, if you guys could do that and leave a review and just keep telling people about this, that would be great. And here's really why. This is well, let me play this.
I'm Brian Kemp. I'm so conservative. I blow.
This is Brian Kemp, who very possibly, yeah, I know, right? This guy he could be the next governor of Georgia. Okay, this guy's a full-on lunatic, and this is the example of the
Up government spending. I own guns that no one's taking away.
Of course you do. And here's, by the way, this guy's actually scarily kind of funny in this commercial until this part.
My chainsaw's ready to rip up
No,
some
not this part.
regulations.
Wait.
I got a big truck, just in case I need to round up criminal illegals and take them home myself.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's gonna do it himself. He's gonna round up brown people himself.
Just your ordinary
I know
neighbor.
he didn't say brown people. He said criminal illegals.
Well, but his audience heard, bro.
Oh yeah.
Just your ordinary neighborhood Nazi, just running for governor of Georgia.
Just
Yeah.
emboldened all of them nationwide.
They say elections matter. Well, the last election mattered.
Yeah, they sure did.
And this stupid asshole, guys like him, they wouldn't be doing that if it wasn't for what happened with Trump.
No, he's not the one that's tweeting out the Bigfoot erotica, is he? No, that dude's in Virginia.
You really see. I was gonna just try to keep talking so you wouldn't bring that up, and I'm very
I got
good
it in there.
I was actually hoping that I was just gonna keep talking over you, but you really went there.
Here's my problem with that story, though. Everyone's running with the Bigfoot schlong part when the real story there is that candidate who I can't even remember his name refused to rule out campaigning with the full-on out Nazi.
I just want to apologize to Mueller Time listeners for Chris's bringing up the Bigfoot porn.
Bigfoot schlong.
Wait, what did you just say? I'm sorry.
You heard me and you want to hear me say it again. I said Bigfoot schlong.
No, before that you said something.
Bigfoot erotica.
But there was something about some woman. I don't know.
What? Okay, now I'm lost.
Well, yeah. So it's Colorado, right? That's
No,
what that is?
Virginia.
Virginia.
Yeah.
So yeah, explain the
Okay.
Bigfoot porn thing.
All right. Well, his Democratic opponent, who is the mother of actress Olivia Wilde, she was trolling her Virginia. I don't know if it's state Congress or what, state House of Representatives, trolling him online, and apparently she was digging through his Instagram history, and he has pictures of naked Bigfoot, like showing it all off.
Wow.
Male Bigfoot. And then it turns out the guy actually wrote a Bigfoot book. So she gave him a little bit of a hard time about that, just goofing on him on the Bigfoot, calling it Bigfoot erotica. But then also got the jab in on how he was asked by a local reporter to rule out campaigning with someone else that's campaigning in Virginia that is a full-on proud Nazi, and he would not rule out doing it. So that's the real story there. Here's another emboldened Nazi, and that's why I use that as an excuse to bring up the Bigfoot erotica.
Oh my God. I mean, it's just, yeah. I don't know. I really don't know what to say about that. That's
Daily Wire had 2 stories on Bigfoot erotica today. It was great.
Hey, check out this.
Neither one mentioned the Nazi part.
Check out this kid. He works at this like 22-year-old millennial kid who works at a company called Valor Media.
Mm-hmm.
They created an ad for burgers that was like, if you don't eat this burger, you'll end up like this guy. And they had that one of the journalists who was killed by ISIS. Yeah. So this is no, right? This is this kid's apology. Just listen to a little bit of this.
What up, guys? Michael Valor here.
What up, guys? What up, guys? I'm apologizing. Seriously?
CEO of Valor Media, president, founder, owner of Valor Media. I wanted to
He's just such an idiot. Like,
How many titles did he give himself for the company that is him and only him with no employees?
he just goes on and on.
leave this message because I wanted to have like a one-on-one with you
All right,
guys.
I'm not. It goes on for.
I
Like,
want to have a one-on-one with all my thousands of people that are going to listen to this on the internet.
Yeah.
Nothing about it makes sense. Okay, Valor Media, is this kid a veteran?
Oh no, he's no veteran.
So stolen Valor Media, is that what it is?
More like bankrupt Valor, because I mean it's hard to pull in clients for that kind of thing when you know. That was my one moment of internet kind of humor today. As bad as that ad was, I did get a chuckle out of that. That was quite an own, as they say.
Yeah.
A cell phone. You got anything you want to talk about? I always do all the
Oh,
time.
I talked about the Bigfoot erotica, so I'm good.
Yeah, that was. I was wondering, like, by the way, if you guys, anyway, I always hesitate saying this, but if anyone does have any feedback, I've been toying around some ideas about, like, just let us know. Somebody was like, "Hey, how come your show's not an hour?" And I was like, "I think that's too long." But
Yeah, too long. 30 minutes is perfect.
if you guys have any ideas, like an hour, just anything you want us to talk about or do, you can hit us up on the Mueller Time Facebook page or MuellerTimePodcast@gmail.com.
Yeah.
Or you can follow Chris at
I'm at Low Progressive on Twitter.
Low Progressive on Twitter, or I'm at Eric Levay, which is EricLevii. Excuse me.
Mm-hmm.
Just let us know what's going on here. Yeah, just maybe one more thing.
What you got?
Well, as you know, we were banned from the local neighborhood Facebook group.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We weren't banned, but we were censored. I was censored.
Yeah, it just sounds better.
Okay.
Yeah. No, you're right. We were not banned.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
Yeah, we've mentioned our local Facebook neighborhood group a few times, and now national politics kind of made its way into our neighborhood, and I took the opportunity to write about that in our local Facebook group, and it brought out the crazies, and because of it, the whole discussion got shut down.
But this is the big thing. So I posted, okay, so on the Franklin Village Facebook page, which is our neighborhood, at the very top, the pin post. Wait, the page is run by someone I know.
Oh, that's right. We got banned. I'm talking about myself here.
Right. Yeah. No,
Oh, that's right. Okay, it scratched my whole thing from the record.
yeah, we can't. We don't edit this podcast.
Okay.
But it's okay. So I know the person who runs this page, friend of mine, and at the top of the pin post on this page, it says, if you live in the neighborhood and you have something to promote, please post.
Yeah, and it calls out if you have a play, if you have a band, if you have an art show.
Right. We meet both those criteria. So when I looked at that, I reviewed it mentally and I said, check. Okay. So I posted a link to the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I posted the actual podcast so people could hear it right there. It was taken down because what was given to me was people fight about politics. Now, I don't know if you guys have, right. Have you guys ever been on Nextdoor, or do you have your own neighborhood page? Have you noticed what the tenor is, the tone?
The tone is, there's a brown person on my street, call the police.
Yeah. I mean, people are that, and just in general, people are always fighting about something on these neighborhood pages. We're in the middle of a national crisis here, the worst we've ever had, probably the most dangerous. arguably as bad as even something like World War II. Our president is wholly owned by a foreign country, and we don't know what's going on. So all we're trying to do is just spread the word. And that was kind of an amazing bit of censorship. You care about people fighting?
Look, I'm on Facebook more hours a day than I would care to admit. I didn't even see the post.
Yeah,
because Eric, you told me about it. That it was pulled before I even saw it.
Yeah, and I that person contacted me, and I said, I hear where you're coming from, but that's bullshit. And I left the group.
Yeah,
So
as you should.
And now I won't know about all the things that didn't matter in the first place. That
Look,
happened.
I posted something about Trump's star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame being destroyed, and the commenting got shut down on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the censorship in our local Facebook neighborhood group, lame. We don't like it.
Yeah. Mueller time has been censored. Maybe we can spin that to something, positive.
I don't know. Maybe we gotta piss off somebody bigger than the moderator of the Franklin Village group.
Well, the ultimate thing would be if we could somehow get Trump to, bash this podcast.
That would be awesome. Yes.
Oh, we'd have an MSNBC gig the next day.
Yeah, we would.
Literally. You see me in a suit and tie, 8 a.m. Yeah, they just called me and hired me.
Ivanka's a Nazi.
See me next to Malcolm Nance.
Should we just yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Let's just start saying outrageous things, and maybe someone will get us on. Yeah.
Oh, I was just agreeing with you.
Okay.
I wasn't like, that's not outrageous. I mean,
I know.
these people are Nazis.
Yeah, that's not outrageous enough, though.
All right, folks. Well, your time is valuable, as is ours.
Oh, maybe we could figure out a way to get the religious religious liberty task force after us.
Yeah, that's a great one. We've exceeded our time here, but we are going to get into the we are going to do the religious liberty task force. And if they're out there looking for you, just smile and I don't know anything about religion.
No, good.
All right, guys. Well, this is Eric, and
I'm Chris. We're out of here.
And we appreciate it. Take care.
Thank you.